MegaRace is a 1994 racing game rail shooter hybrid, developed and published by Cyro Interactive, and this is my review of the game in 2026. I would like to start by saying that this title runs very well on modern hardware, and it's mostly playable with an Xbox One controller, except I couldn't find a way to pause with the controller and I had to use the keyboard for that, and MegaRace even automatically detected my controller, so a big W there. Before I get into the gameplay, I must first discuss the story. Taking place in the future, you play in a VR TV show in which you play as the quote enforcer, and your task is to destroy enemy drivers, who are from various speed gangs. Now, this TV show is hosted by one Lance Boyle, played by Christian Eriksen, and he is a very entertaining person to say the least, and he does a great job of talking about the racetracks and the scenarios around them. Very entertaining dude. That out of the way, you have a few ways to defeat these bad gangsters in the show, with the most practical being to shoot them from behind, or you can ram and smash into them until they explode, or if you get far enough ahead of them, they self-destruct. That said, there will only ever be one combatant in-game at once, and you'll have to get rid of him before another will spawn in, and you do have to be quick, as every race, or event, if you prefer, only lasts 3 laps, and if you can't take down all of the baddies in time, you fail and you gotta retry from your last save. I personally strongly recommend saving after every level. Okay, so, for the rail elements in this game, you can't really increase your speed by simply pressing a gas button, as you mostly move at a fixed speed, but you can go over power-ups and power-downs that will increase or decrease your speed, but you can freely move from the left to the right as you please. Now, power-ups could be a bit tricky, as there are lots of different ones to keep up with lying on the tracks, and when you're zipping by them very fast, it could be hard to react to them in time and to make out what was what. And you had to be careful, or you might hit a power down. That would do something like distort your vision or take away your ammo. The ammo power down was likely my least favorite, as you really need your bullets to play this game so that you can shoot baddies. And sure, you can melee bash your foes when you run dry, but this also damages your HP, so it's not a super reliable method. But thankfully, ammo refill power-ups do exist. Now, about weaponry and vehicle selection. MegaRace offers 8 cars to choose from, all with various weapons, armor, and other stats. And the Ozbull, I hope I said that right, was possibly my favorite of the bunch. And you start off with only 3 cars, but you unlock more as you progress. Alrighty, a bit more about your guns. They have very little range, so you definitely need to get close to your foes in order to use them, which is where the shooting in this game is. So, rail-like movement mixed with shooting equals rail shooter. Now, that said, when somebody told me that MegaRace was a rail shooter, I was more of expecting a car-themed House of the Dead, or maybe something akin to the Gunstringer. And this was certainly not what I expected, but I did enjoy it overall. Graphically, this game looks pretty good for the time, with a lot of nice cutscenes, and the racetracks and the cars all look pretty good. The music is really neat as well, and the Zoom platform version of the game even comes with an MP3 download of the soundtrack, along with a lot of other cool stuff, like manual downloads, an old TV commercial promoting the game, and more. I think the last thing I really want to add to my vid is that you earn prizes for getting high scores in levels, and while you couldn't really use them, they were pretty creative and a few made me laugh.
A fully functioning scientist's brain floating in its own nutritious chemical bath. This easy-to-care-for prize is brought to you by the makers of Marsupial, the soup that jumps right out of the can.
And really, this whole game was pretty creative, and it did a good job of making a vehicular combat game, and I think to give this retro title a 8 out of 10 by my grade scale. Not my favorite video game, but I overall had fun with it. Now, if what I read is correct, MegaRace is a 3DO console exclusive, not counting the Sega CD version, since that was a console add-on, and I'd say that this game fit the 3DO pretty well based off my knowledge of the console. For one, the 3DO's launch game, Crash and Burn, looks pretty similar to this title, although I myself have never played it. And also, the 3DO was really good at handling FMV cutscenes for the time, and if what I read is correct, this entire game is largely a giant FMV. Obviously, you have the cutscenes, but I also read that the racetracks themselves were full motion video, which is pretty interesting if you ask me. And if I ever do get a 3DO, trust me I want one, I will try to hunt down MegaRace on it. But until then, the PC version is a pretty solid and affordable experience. Plus, it's DRM free on Zoom platform. As far as similar games I could recommend, I don't know, Fireburst, you might like that, or possibly Child of Eden. And I'd say that's it for my review itself for today. Thanks for watching and for putting up with my not great narrations. For those new here, I mostly review and discuss Xbox 360 games, but I do cover other devices as well, like today. And Aliens vs. Predator will probably be the next PC game that I cover, so maybe sub if you want to see that. And follow me on GameRam for hints at upcoming vids and behind the scenes stuff. For our Bible verse of the day, I read Revelation 3:20 NIV. Here I am. I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in and eat with that person, and they with me. And like always, all of my content is man-made, and I never consent for my voice and likeness to be copied and modified by robots in any way. Keep YouTube human. Alright y'all, thanks again for watching, take it easy, drive safe, and peace.